Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning?
No, Nancy. You just got to follow the instructions, Nancy. I'm doing really good.
You sound great today, Lori.
I actually slept like the dead last night, so I'm feeling a little more rested today. Yeah, what a nice change. My dog slept and didn't wake me up.
Yeah, sleep's a good thing.
Oh, it is.
Ask me how I know, because I don't get enough of it.
It bites when that happens. Totally bites.
Good morning, Beth. Doing thank you. I'm doing great. Can't even get my thoughts out this morning.
Take a pause on the RT30. Oh my, there is a huge stack on RT30. Well, it's not huge, but it's powerful at 1856.1 ish. I'm gonna mark that baby. Just bounce off there and laid that second mini magnet. So that's pretty powerful. We got a fresh mini magnet on there. So the next time it really should bounce again off there. Let's hope we get a setup off that. Sorry, losing my voice. Ron will give you a little warning. I don't know if you heard when I said I probably will have to mute, and the heavy equipment will probably be back today.
Oh, one of
Right,
those?
that
Okay.
instruction off that I did yesterday. Yeah, making some progress out here. I'm so excited. It's not a matter of sleeping in late. Whoever does that, but it's more of the sleep you get, undisturbed and rested. That's the key. Are we still in dark zone? No, we're out. YM. Oh, the cluster moved. Doggone it. For a minute there, that looked really sweet, but it moved and, of course, didn't close down. So, alrighty then.
No, Grant, but I do have a client in Kansas that's I've been trying to get me out there. Oh wait, you're in Kansas, right, Lori?
Yeah. I'm sitting there going, wait, you have a, well, you should be sending some crews here if you've got somebody
You
out
need to read
here.
between the lines, Lori.
Yeah, no, I don't see, well, you're helping somewhat with your, when I ask a million questions, so, yeah. It's fine, Brenda knows.
Morning, Corey.
Does that mean you're sending a crew out? I could use that.
Yeah, they're going to stop in the way in Southern California and pick up my guys, so they should be there by about, I don't know, 2025.
About when I'll be done. 93725. I'm looking. I actually don't care for that a whole lot, and it obviously is doing great. But the pullbacks before it didn't go very far. It landed in the middle of nowhere. There was nothing that I see that it bounced off. So I'm not a fan of that one, but it would have went without me, unfortunately.
Okay, Lori, I have something that came up yesterday that I wanted to throw out to the group. So stop me at any time if there's like a trade or something, because it's going to be kind of like a Q&A interaction with the room for the next couple of minutes. Is that okay?
Hang on, one before you start. Wait a minute. Does anybody else get that error? What? Oh, we need a screenshot of the error. You need to take a screenshot, Caleb, so we can get exactly. I mean, it looks like you copied it pretty good, but that would have you'd have to. What is the name of the software stuff?
Capture it.
Yeah.
Snag
capture. it. There we go, Greg. I was hoping you would see that. So you're okay. So Greg's on it. Hopefully, that's who I wanted to see it. So. Okay, so Greg's on it. Go ahead with your commentary.
Okay.
Whatever it was.
So.
Wait. Wait. Go ahead with it. Wait. RTY is coming up to that level again. I'm wanting a bounce off that 1856, and look at that. It just went almost there on the 10-tick RTY. It went almost up there, stopped, reversed. Now if it sets up long here, I want to go up to that level because it looks like it's going to burst past it to me. So just kind of showing you something or telling you something to watch for. Hopefully we'll get set up off this mini magnet and bounce back up there one more time, and it should bounce through. Or it should go through. It may chop around, but it should go through. And you don't want to take a bounce off it as close as it just went. And that's RTY. Just saying. And YM is trying to set up. Is RTY going to set up? YM looks really, really good. If it closes, it holds everything. And I'm expecting RTY to set up. They're both setting up. Take your pick. Love them. If they both close and hold everything, wow, nice. Sorry, don't mean to interrupt you, but if I got something that I'm looking at here, yay, look at this. Come on. One of my favorite setups is when RTY and YM set up at the same time. Oh, and RTY went down. I mean, it didn't close, so I canceled that order. YM didn't close either. Canceled that. Okay, never mind. It didn't work out.
So can I throw something that was missed on that YM?
Sure. With a mini magnet.
The inner bar scalp.
Yeah.
I didn't want to throw that in there while you were talking, but...
Well, you should have.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, next time.
Yeah, because, I mean, I just missed a good little intra-bar scalp when I was so focused on two of them. All the information is a good thing. Never hesitate to interrupt and add info. Ever.
I'm just still gun-shy from yesterday.
I don't get it. What's yesterday?
Yesterday I called the trades and didn't trade and got reprimanded for that, so I can only take one reprimandation per week. That's it. I met my goal.
You met your quota. Oh, that's funny. Okay. So now we're just waiting on nothing. Yeah, I guess it's time to watch for bars. YM's trying to set up. RTY is trying. We've got everything but the X box. Nope, YM went away. RTY is not cooperating.
And we're in a pretty strong simplicity short, by the way.
That RTY would leave a big mini magnet so we could scalp on down and get in that short. It would at least give us a reason, but it's not.
No, Grant, I did not.
Watch, but nothing materialized. That bites.
Thanks, Eric. I appreciate the support.
Okay, now if we get a intrabar scalp here, oh, we are kind of getting it too. RTY, it did. 46.6 would be the entry. Nope, done already. I couldn't get in when it got down there because it wouldn't take my order. So, but it took out that mini magnet and down it on goes.
Yeah, Beth, it's something I'm going to try to work on more, is calling that out. And speaking about simplicity, it basically ties into what I was going to start saying earlier. For those of you who are simplicity traders, well, let me ask you this. How many of you out there, and this is going to be kind of like a interactive with the room, are trading simplicity? Like actively trading simplicity? Two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So about a dozen so far at least. Okay. How many of you guys are...
Double that because there are probably that many that aren't saying anything but are.
Okay, well, I want people to say, even if you've never said anything before, ever, I mean, just, this is kind of important. I'm going somewhere with this. And out of those guys who are trading simplicity, how many of you guys are trading it with eval accounts? Okay, so most of you. Now, you guys that are trading the eval accounts, how many of you guys have blown an eval account trading simplicity? Okay. So, how would you like to not blow an eval account trading simplicity? That is the question. That's the key question. And the reason I'm asking is because I'm actually going to put together a video with Ben. We actually talked about this. How to trade simplicity with an eval account and not blow it. Would you guys like something like that? Okay, so it's not going to be a video, it's actually going to be a roundtable, so we're going to do this live. I'm not quite sure the day, it's probably going to be someday next week, but we're going to do so, kind of prepare yourself. I'll try to give you advance notice, and again, it's going to be after session, and so it'll be probably between 12 and 1 Eastern one of the days next week. I'll let you guys know a couple of days in advance, ahead of time, so you can kind of prep for it, kind of clear your schedule. I think it's going to be one of the best roundtables that we've done, because if you follow the plan and the rules that we've set forth, you should never blow an eval account trading simplicity. No, Vegas. It's just simplicity and Q. And, well, you know, this could possibly turn into a more than one roundtable, because it's going to be a lot of interaction with you guys. There's going to be a lot of Q&A, a lot of questions from you guys. that I know are going to come up for sure, and I'm hoping that there'll be at least 100 people in the roundtable. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to cover, and yeah, we'll turn something out of this, and I think you guys are going to be really pleased with what we've come up with. Lori, what do you think of that?
It's freaking awesome. And I want to thank you, because when you start to talk, it seems to bring on some good trades. I just grabbed an intrabar scalp, done for the day. So I want to thank you, because I know that was you just putting luck on me here. I didn't want to disrupt you that time. That is fabulous.
Yeah, Vegas, you will have to have a data feed from either IQ feed or Kinetic, I believe it is, for the indice data. So we'll cover all that. We'll cover how to set up a simplicity chart the right way, how to select your data feeds. Everything. I think it's something that's been a long time coming, and I think the group needs it. So if we come up with something that I think has got huge benefit for you guys, then we'll put it out there.
I think that's fabulous.
Go ahead.
Generally, simplicity, which is an advanced form of trading, you have to know sniper first. So for those of you that are saying, I don't know what it is, what is it? It is a form of longer term, a little bit longer term. You might be in it for 10 minutes. You might be in it for an hour. It's a little bit longer than the quick scalps that you get from Sniper, but you have to know Sniper to be able to read the market. It requires market reading. And so if you don't know what it is, you're too new to do it at this point. It is for NQ. It'll give you enough trades. You really don't need to go through and look for other markets. Oh, I want to do it on YM or TY. Yeah, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but Daryl, who you've watched, most of you have been here long enough to see him. I think we've watched him make close to $750,000 in a morning on multiple contracts with simplicity. But he always does NQ. Why would you feel like you need to add a bunch more? Do what works, what we know is proven to work. Anyway, it is a more advanced form of a trailing that yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah, there you go.
And John.
An interbar and I missed it. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to shut up.
No. Please, Lori. Just to answer your question, the reason I'm not doing a video is because there's going to be so many questions that people are going to want answers, and they're not going to want to wait for a message to go back, and it's going to be a lot more productive, I think, when it's live and there's the interaction. But it will be recorded, so I mean, if you miss it and you have specific questions after that, like I said, I actually see it going more than one session. It could actually possibly turn out to be a series. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm watching YM. For those of you that are commenting on YM, it's in a huge, strong area, so it's got to have a perfect setup either way, or else it's probably going to chop. I'm a little leery of chop right in this area for YM. is trying to set up. It's ODD plus a pretty much perfect Lorax. If it does go long, it's looking good for simplicity. Simplicity, what am I saying? RTY. Focused, I can't even get it right. If RTY ends up going up to that, we got a good target. I was just going to say, going up to that, there you go, profit. That crash up there, we've got a green eye block right at the bottom of the crash. It just hit it. So, yeah, we had a good target pulling it up. That was a good one. There haven't been any weekly webinars for a little while, so, yeah, no. We'll make an announcement. That RTY was kind of hard, but I tried to give you a little warning beforehand so you could have your entry set there beforehand and let it grab you. That doesn't mean you had enough time, but I tried. And now I would love to see this setup bouncing off this mini magnet at the crash on RTY. It doesn't have HD. It's just got a TX. That's not enough for me. I want something a little bit better, although it's got a medium-sized mini magnet. No, it doesn't. It went away. I was going to say, RTY and YM are setting up opposites. I never like when that happens. I love it when they're in sync. Just a little more confirmation. And now they are, because YM is going up toward that stack. There's not enough room to profit. I wouldn't want to get in this. I mean, if it wiggles enough, there, you got it. It did go. I was going to say, if it wiggles enough, you get it, but I didn't have time to take a measurement and see how many ticks were before it hit that. 33,200, yeah. I got that same error, Greg. Yeah, I'm a little leery of longs right now, to be honest, especially with that scalp. I mean, scalp, good grief.
Don't be leery, Lori.
My brain sure is. The crash, with the crash there, right in front of her way, it plowed through it really fast, but although if you look at the two bars that actually plowed through that level where the crash is, they both retrace, they both have wicks, so just a little interesting thing to note. Both the bars that at 9:56:09 and 9:57:14, both of those bars ended up wicking out when they hit that level of the ZOI crash on RTY. So you see, it does really react to it, but both of them push through anyway. Say something that I just talked right through. I thought I heard your voice.
I'd lost my train of thought.
Is it catchy?
No.
Did you catch that? No, I mean, did you catch that from me? I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the RTY at 9:55. I wasn't a big fan of but he did have enough room to profit before the two. I didn't think it looked like there was that much room. I couldn't count it that fast. So yeah, turns out it was a good one, but did you leave your if you take your hot com down, clear cache, it'll probably come up the right way. Because if you leave hot com up, then if you're well, re-log into the Apex website. That's probably if you take hot com down, clear cache, exit the Apex website, and come back into it, you'll probably be fine. What is a single yellow line? That is a part of a gap fill from probably a weekend. I mark certain gaps that if they don't fill right away, we know we're waiting for the market to come back to them. For some reason, if they don't fill within the day after they're laid, I mean, they'll come in on a Sunday night usually, and then if they're not filled by the end of the day Monday, I mark them because they become important. Why? No idea, but they do. Something I've observed over the years. Caleb, I'm pretty sure I have your Skype. Go ahead and put it in my Skype, and I'm going to forward it to Greg. Down, I can't find your Skype right now off the top of my search.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
I got it. I already sent it.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Oh, I was going to say, what the heck? The charts are still.
Order canceled.
I wondered if something was wrong here. Buy at 10:03. Missed it. Let's see. I wouldn't have taken it because it does not have a mini magnet or a paw, and it doesn't have the cluster in the right place. So because of those two things, if just had one of those things, I wouldn't mind it, but I wouldn't take it because I need the cluster to either be on the Xbox, in the Xbox, or on some big level, and it was just hanging out there flapping in the wind, or I need a mini magnet or paw, which I prefer
Order
both,
submitted.
but I can handle one of those things not being perfect, but I can't.
Order canceled.
So I wouldn't have taken it myself. Turns out it would have been a great one, but yeah, no. Yellow line. I don't have a single yellow line on my ES. Cluster on there. Oh wow. YM put a cluster on a ZOI, and but there's no setup, so nothing to take there. But dang, I really wish that would have been a Lorax. Let's see, ZOI in the cluster on that RTY at 10:03. No, I don't have one anyway. RTY intra, I must have missed it. Gone, of course. RTY double Lorax. I missed that too. I don't know. Oh, that's, yeah, not exactly. It looks like a double Lorax, but it doesn't have a cluster on the second one, and it has no mini magnet or paw. Consider that second one a heads up, but yeah, it didn't have all the parts we like. Caleb, you might try rebooting your computer, but something's got a lock on that file, so make sure that your antivirus isn't the problem.
Okay, Lori, I just want to call something out to simplicity. So, actually, 1 second.
Order filled. Order filled.
For the market, let's see. Who am I talking to? Let's see. If the market is truly going sideways, like it looks like in your screenshot, then it's ranging, and that would be valid. If it's not, you don't show very much on your screen, so I can't tell for sure if it's truly ranging or just you hit a choppy patch. But if it's truly ranging, that would be valid. If it's not ranging, that would not be valid because it's opposite DR.
Well, what I was going to say, I just got distracted with something, and what I was going to say, it actually already happened, but I didn't like it anyway. So on NQ on simplicity, I was looking for a break below 11,377 with a signal to go short. The problem is that the target would have been 347, and with the entry being at somewhere around 67 according to this, I wouldn't like it because I don't know if it's really going to go that much and go that far. That was for the short side. On the long side, I was looking for a break above 11,417 with the signal to go along, but the target would be probably like 40, let's say 40. And again, that's not enough either. So basically what I was trying to say is I don't want to take anything unless price breaks above, and this is for simplicity, above 11,445, or let's call it 11,450 even, to go long. Or on the short side, I wouldn't take anything unless it breaks 11,340, let's call it 47 to the short side. But if somebody was willing to take anything of the break of those two levels, your target would be probably like 15, maybe 15 points to either direction. That's if it goes that way. And as you can see on the short side, it didn't give you much at all. I mean, you haven't stopped out yet. I mean, you'd still be in the short, but it just didn't look good. So just something that I saw. I was going to call it out there. The short side happened before I was able to get the whole thing out, but I'm trying to get to the habit of giving you guys both the long and short scenario, whichever way it's going to go, because I do not have a bias on the market. I'm basically reading what the chart says. So I'm definitely going to wait for the break of those levels that I told you on, let's call it 450 to the long and 347 to the short. Corey, no, the numbers I just gave you right now is what I'm looking on the simplicity chart. And the other stuff that I get, I pull off the 30. I don't even have a 50 chart up. One of the things that I really don't like is that it was still, price was in a little bit of a bigger range where we were prior to the market open, and we were there for probably about 45 minutes of consolidation. So I just didn't want to be in that mess. I just wanted to get clear, it needs to give me a clear definition of one way or the other, and it just has not done that. Oh, I didn't know that, Corey. I just, like I said, I don't even have a 50 up, so that's just what my eyes are seeing.
You get paid profits on both, Roop. It's just a little different. A live prop is actually
Order filled.
you're actually trading live money,
Order filled.
but it's not your money. I mean, it's there's not much different as far as you're concerned. Stop with all this. Sorry, I'm trying though. 10/16/08 RTY. There was no setup at 10/16/08. Has to be a reversal bar. Setting up short, but it didn't go short. So, yeah, there's no trade. Let me just make it clear here. The ES room is advanced. It's after you've learned sniper, and so beginners, the ES mentor group would not be a good place. It's not a good fit because you don't have the sniper rules and things down. But Katie is in here every morning, and this is where she'll make the live calls. This is where you have her available pretty much every morning. So this is where you need to plug in. Lassie, looking at, when I was trying to look at your screenshot, I don't think I would have taken like any of those trades. If you could post that screenshot again and have Katie look at that and comment on, she can mark up your chart and give it back to you as far as what was valid, what isn't. And I don't see many of your trades on there valid. So Lassie, that's why you need to post your charts, because if they're valid or invalid is not a matter of opinion. It is a true or false question. It's valid or it's not. Now, it can be valid and be a trade that reading a chart one wouldn't want to take. That's different. But I'm not so sure those are valid. I'd have to look a lot closer. It's really hard to see on that zoomed out chart. I know it's I asked for zoomed out.
So if you guys are watching the simplicity chart like I was talking about earlier, this will get you into a situation where you're literally like grinding the market with simplicity, and we'll discuss that on the round table, how to pretty much avoid that, because this will basically kill you. So Kevin, we're going to schedule it for one day next week. I'll let everybody know. Seth, just basically join in when we go live. Just hop into the stream. Here, Francine. Just go there, subscribe, and you'll get notified when we go live. Elias, same answer to Francine. If you go to that link I just posted, subscribe, and you'll get notified when we go live. What I'll probably end up doing is put a notification up maybe a day or so in advance so that you guys will have a heads up. And I will also announce it in the room. Yeah, I don't have, Chris, I don't have a date. It's going to be next week, probably maybe Monday or Tuesday. I'll find out later on today, and we'll let you guys know tomorrow. Or like I said, I'll post the notification. Here you go, Ashwin. That's for you. Richard, or Vegas, yeah, we'll cover that as well. That'll be in the beginning. So if you haven't done it, the only thing you need to make sure that you do get subscribed to the data feed. Otherwise, you won't be able to do it. So, so it's either IQ feed or Kinetic. I use IQ feed myself. I think it's a little bit more expensive, but the support that you get is second to none, and I can tell you I've needed them a couple of times, and it's well worth the money. I mean, you can make your monthly fee for IQ Feed in one simplicity trade. Yeah, Vegas, if you have it, don't worry about it. We'll go over how to set it up. Yeah, Mario, see, that's what I was talking about earlier. So it's in that range, and I really need a clear break away from it. So again, still we're looking to break below 347 or above, we'll call it 447, 450. I mean, somewhere up in that area. And if it doesn't break out of that during the session today, that's fine. I don't want to get into, there were a couple of simplicity signals that were there that just didn't work out. So there's no reason to be in this mess. We'll cover all that, how to identify those and how to stay out of it. Hey Vegas, that RTY was a decent setup. No mini magnet or paw. And it was in a pretty strong down move. Bill, yes, it will be recorded.
Okay, I'm going to try to comment real quick on your question, Vegas, before I have to shut the mic off again. It'll be on and off. Sorry, with the workers out here. The 1025 RTY did not have a mini magnet or a paw, and the cluster was kind of floating. Yeah, it was on a eye block, a red eye block, but that doesn't mean anything in my opinion. It was after a strong trend down. With almost no pullbacks, I wouldn't have touched it myself. Just saying.
Sky answered your question. You need to be a gold member. You actually have to be a gold paying member to get the simplicity indicator. No, Richard, ask all the questions that you could possibly think of. There are no silly questions. And you'd be amazed at how many questions you actually have and ask that there's maybe a half a dozen to a dozen other people that are out there just afraid to ask. So don't be afraid. Just ask. I promise you, your head is not going to be handed to you. That's the only way we're going to learn. And I'm speaking from experience because I was the one that was constantly putting my neck out there to get chopped, and it never did. I just asked all the questions, and no matter how stupid they were and all the mistakes that I made, and by doing that, it's kind of how I got to where I got today. Sky, what do you mean? I didn't take a simplicity trade today. There's nothing for me to mark up.
Donnelly, your TXF looks like it wasn't valid because I could be wrong here, but it looks like the DR was green on the bar before, so that makes it invalid. It's hard to tell for sure. Looks a little, the DR's chopping up. Do I have a YouTube page? No.
And guys, the only reason I have a YouTube page is just to temporarily store all the stuff that we're putting together. The ultimate goal is for it to end up on the Apex website. So.
Yeah, and Daryl has absolutely, he wants it there, and everything that Ron is doing is approved by Daryl. So in case you're wondering, yeah, well, that's kind of different or something, somebody else wanted to do something and couldn't or whatever, that's the deal. It is all approved.
Yeah, you guys have to understand, if you guys cut me, I bleed Apex. So it's kind of funny, but...
Yeah, our Vegas playing was not posted and won't be posted. Although I think Daryl got a hold of Marion's pictures, but yeah, not mine. Okay. Does any YouTube content made with Sniper have to be approved by Apex? No. It's kind of complicated, but if you're in this room and like Ron's on mic, so he's very much teaching Apex, and if he does anything, it has to be approved by Daryl. There are other people that have affiliate YouTube channels, and they are doing their own thing. They're trading Apex and trying to get affiliate runs and stuff, and that's fine. That's not considered sanctioned by Apex. So that's their own thing. Ron's doing everything that at this point is it's Apex. It's under the Apex umbrella. If that makes sense on the difference. He's in here in our trade room and mentoring and helping and calling trades. So that is very definitely under the Apex umbrella. Okay, lastly, I have a comment on that. You're doing everything right as far as screenshotting your trades and keeping a trade journal, but you don't know if you truly know those until you have someone check them, whether they're valid or invalid or other comments on a more advanced read. You really can't know you really truly understand it unless somebody checks them. Yeah, and I challenge anybody who has gone through all the videos and not just asking questions because you don't know, you haven't gone through the videos. You have to go through the videos and learn the basics. But I challenge anybody to ask as many questions as I asked Daryl when I first started. I mean, it was non-freaking stop. And the closest person that I've ever seen that is Ron. That comes close to asking questions, as many questions as I did. And let me tell you, yeah, you got a ways to go, buddy.
I'm not trying to reach that milestone. Believe me, I'm full of questions, and you know that every single day I ask
Yeah.
and learn.
And people are like, when he first came in, he's only been with Apex almost about a year.
Yeah, you're to the
And
day
he
actually.
all of a sudden he made mistakes when he joined Apex. He did what most people do, just kind of bumbled around and thought he knew better and thought he knew everything, that, watched the videos and thought he understood everything and just kind of did his own thing, and it didn't work. And so he just made a conscious decision to do it the right way, ask the questions, post the screenshots, do everything that the sniper course tells you to do. And within, 30 days, everything turned around, and he was doing really, really well. And then it just kept growing crazy from there. And I will tell you guys, I didn't mention to Daryl that, oh, you know what? I think we should have Ron on microphone. That was Daryl's choice. He said, let's get him on microphone. So we did. But, I mean, yeah, he caught his charts, the charts that he posted with questions, with trades, with all this stuff. Daryl caught that. And even though you think he's not paying attention, oh, let me tell you, he is. And, yeah, so he did it the way that he made a choice and he just didn't look back. And he did it the way everything's supposed to do in the way it's laid out, and it worked. So I just want to put that out there. I mean, it was just amazing. And, I mean, my journey was so long ago now, gosh, 8 years ago at least, something like that, that's old. So to watch Ron, because he's just, relatively new to the scene, and look where he is. I mean, this is amazing. Because he followed the system, followed the rules. They are not arbitrary rules. And he did post the charts, make sure he understood. And because there's a lot of places you think you know, but there's just little misconceptions that people do not even think that they're like, yeah, I get it. Well, yeah, you didn't, but you didn't realize it until I pointed it out. So that's kind of what I just had to say that.
Well, thanks, Lori. I appreciate that.
I may have to shut off this mic any second because they're out there working, and at this point the dogs are quiet, so that's kind of nice.
And just so you guys know, full disclosure, I'm doing this out of my own free will. I mean, it's whatever little time I have, I put into this, and I'm like literally putting my heart and soul into this because I truly, genuinely want everybody that I can help to benefit and succeed. I don't know, it's just in me. It's just my personality. It's just the way that I am. But I mean, when I started with Apex, I literally, within a matter of, from the day of introduction to I think it was 3 weeks later, I basically went lifetime platinum. So, and if you guys have any idea what it costs to get into that, that was my investment. And so I was like 100% committed from day one. So it's kind of like I'm like you guys. So if I can do this, then you can do it. And if you really want to make this happen, I've kind of paved the way on how to do that, and just copy it and make it your own. The only difference is everybody has to work on their own psychology, but the rules are the same no matter what. So
it's so important to learn the basics. You've got to have that basic foundation, or your foundation's going to crumble underneath you. You have to learn the basics of sniper. You've got to learn. That is also important, even if it feels like, well, yeah, but there's so much, the Lorex, for example, a full Lorex has got such a better win rate. I want to do that immediately. Well, you can do that as you're going along with us, but you have to learn the sniper basics, partly for the terminology, so that when we're saying, yeah, it had a ZOI crash, well, you got to know what that is. You have to learn and go through all of sniper, learn that, preferably go through Thrive also. That is just incredible for chart reading, but you have to have the basic foundation and understand what's valid, what's not. And just because something's valid does not mean that you want to take it. That's where the market reading comes in. That's where Katie comes in and helps you with ES. That's where we try to help you. Ron and I try to help you with the YM and RQY.
Sorry, Lori, really quick. We just got the break on NQ that I was talking about. So if we wait, we got there. Now we just have to kind of see what the market does. Now it just poked through, which is not enough because we need it to close. Okay, it needs to close below, and then we need to get a signal. So, sorry, Laura, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's just we've been watching this thing for like an hour, so I just wanted to kind of make sure to let you guys know that patience, especially, and that's one of the things we're going to cover in the roundtable. Just wait. I mean, because it's kind of funny. We know the market's going to do unpredictable things, and if we know that and we just wait for it to do what we want it to do, the probability is going to end up working in our favor. So, because getting into that mess that it was in before, you're going to end up taking 2 or 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3 simplicity trades that potentially could get you stopped out. I don't really want those kind of odds against me. I want to go with something that I know is going to give me a high probability. Now, look at what happened. It hit that level. It did not close below. It just bounced, and now it's going to probably isolate and go back up again. So, just something to look for. I always look for a reason why not to get into a trade, and the bigger picture I already painted about an hour ago. So we know what we're looking for. Now we're just waiting for the market to come to us. So it's kind of like we're going fishing, we're throwing the line out there, but we're throwing the line in a specific area where we're waiting for the school of fish to come there, and once they're there, then we're going to grab our net, and then we're going to scoop everything up. So that's kind of like the best analogy that I could give. Sorry, Lori, I didn't mean to.
No. Don't ever hesitate. I mean, if you got something like that, you go for it. Just break in
and just by the way, the Dash that asked the question about the monthly membership that they were paying, the gold for silver pricing, yes, that does qualify you to get simplicity. So, okay, sorry, Lori, go ahead.
I have no idea what it was, but all good. This has been a good learning day. I love that. I mean, it's been a good trade day. There haven't been a whole lot of setups, but the ones that there have been great. So Seth, are you saying you're running through the water chasing the fish to us for us? Thank you. We appreciate that. I love the way Katie said that. If you scroll up just a little bit, or you just looked, this is a common misconception with ES. People think that because ES isn't called that you shouldn't listen. But to trade ES, the best of your ability, you need to learn everything you can from boot camp and what we discuss in here about chart reading. So that is your first thing. And Katie's amazing at trading the ES and when you should and shouldn't stay in. But you got to know the basics first. You have got to know, Hannah, you have to be a paid member. And then once you're a paid member, you fill out the form under what's next in boot camp. A monthly membership with gold, monthly membership, you can get some simplicity. He is great at reading ES. Got to have your basics down first. It's absolutely crucial. If you don't know how to swim, you can't go dive into the deep end and expect to do great things. Anything more than sink to the bottom, and none of us want that. Did you ever close? You didn't close down below yet, huh? Or did you? I
Not yet.
don't know where it was. Okay, I don't know where it was when you said that. RTY is putting in a busy little area, a couple of 30 tick mini magnets and a couple of ZOIs, a couple of clusters. They're all spread out. What do we suppose that means? Quick quiz. What does that mean when you have all that order print stuff and it's spread out? Chop. Very good. Very good. Absolutely. We hit chop, and it did. It chopped in that area. But it keeps laying more like that. The 2 bars before the one we're on, it laid another cluster. That means you're still in a choppy area. It's still respecting that chop zone. So when it starts to lay stuff, when it starts to go away from it without laying more mini magnets and order print stuff, then you're in the clear of the chop. I asked a question about membership. A gold membership gets you all the indicators and simplicity and everything, and a platinum will get you all of the live events, all of the recordings, all of the everything. A platinum is a lifetime platinum. It's just like you've got it all. You're a member for life and you get everything, always. Okay, you say this is a successful trade, but did you miss anything? Gotta see more. Whenever you take a screenshot, please screenshot the whole chart. That includes your time, your market, the price ladder, absolutely everything. You missed part of that, and I can't see anything before it, so I don't know if it was valid. I guess you've got your detector on. It says it was, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was. Can't see if it was in a. Nope, you were going short with the DR, so that was at least, at the very least, a valid FTX, filtered TX. And it had everything that you like on it, that I like on a Lorex, except for a couple parts, so it does look like a really good setup. Love seeing these screenshots come in. Now, sometimes if we're really focused on the charts, your screenshots won't always get looked at right away. If they don't, post them again, please, because we're trying to watch the charts. I think you want us calling trades if there's something to call instead of marking up charts. But having said that, we do want to help you with charts. So if they don't get answered, if your questions don't get answered, ask again. Don't expect we're going to scroll up and go read them again and look, because we probably won't. We get on to the next thing and the next thing. Not that we're intentionally ignoring you, it's that we missed it. It happens. Post it again. There is a huge webinar about how to read the order print chart on with Thrive. Not how to read it, but how to actually use it to help you make money and avoid losing money. That's the key. Reading an order print chart, it's got all these parts and pieces. Who cares? What's that going to tell you? That's the difference between Apex and other systems that have what they call the footprints and order flow and all that stuff. Yeah, it tells you a lot of stuff, but in reality, how does that help you make money? Our systems put everything together. That's what you need to know. We really don't care so much about how to read an order print bar as much as we do combine it with different things. That's what's going to make you money. That's what matters. That's what matters. I'm looking at this chart that has 78% ODD. Yeah, you're in a big downtrend. I don't know why you'd want to go long. It's downtrend and it's getting to a choppy area. Look left on that chart and it's all chopped. So you got into a long in a chopped box. That's why it didn't work. That was Don Lee's chart that I just commented on. Antonio, not quite yet. We're working on it, though. Literally, we're trying to set a time to get together and make some changes so that they're really, really awesome. Right now, the Lorex is set up as kind of a heads up. When you see that, look and see what parts and pieces there are, put it together, and we are going to change that. So right now, no, but it is coming. Oh, we love when Greg's in the kitchen cooking stuff. Absolutely love it. Are you in this sniper now? Did it close below and zipping down?
Yeah.
Did you get an entry?
No, I actually got a phone call. So no, I wasn't able to do. I wasn't able to do anything.
Can't you tell them that you're busy?
Yeah, it's like, can't you guys see I'm trying to trade? But anyway, so yeah, so this would be the close below. There's a couple things I don't like about it. Is that there was that big huge bar at 10:55:30. But let's just say, for all practical purposes, that we got in. Our entry would be at 341. 340. Let's call it 340. That would be our entry. And the target would be 313. Basically the wall, because we're basically in no man's land at this point. We just hope it. Ultimately, the target will be the -1 dev, right? But I'm going to safely say that we'll get to the wall that's at 313.75. And again, my biggest concern was that big, huge bar that we got that would have been in our entry. Now, if this does not set up for an LRE, then this thing is going to fail. And this would have been a trade for a loss. And it looks like it's going to close up here. So you'd be out. So, like I said, I didn't have a chance to comment on it. That this would have not been one that I would have taken. Just because the way that it was setting up. Yes, I was looking for certain things, but at the same time, the market also had to do it in a certain way, which it didn't. And the reason being is that even though we had to close below, we still had that wall at 342.75 to contend with, and it was isolating around that for a while. So that changed where we actually had to close below, which was that big bar, which I don't like, which means my entry would have actually had to be at 328 to go short. And I don't think we would have gotten it on the next bar. Yeah, it wasn't really 2 ticks, so it only went 1 tick below. So technically, we never really got a valid entry for this simplicity. At least for me, the way I look at it. So no trade.
Yeah, that YM fizzled out. Ended up closing wrong, but I was watching that YM, Jacob. Good eye to catch that. It was setting up beautiful for a few seconds. How much back testing does Apex do? Before some new system comes out, it gets back tested crazy, a lot. What you're trading now has basically been, some form of it has been used for the last nearly 8 years and making money. So, I don't know what you want more than, other than that. I've been trading this stuff for the whole time that I've been here, almost. The first year, it was kind of, I saw some of this stuff, and then YM is looking quite pretty, yes, at this moment. Oh, it doesn't have HD because it went too high, but it's looking good. It's going into a chop zone, though, so it might need a lot of patience, but it is looking really quite pretty. And, one tick away from my profit. How is it the edge of these systems is not exploited over time? Because it's changing, constantly changing. When we first started using the basics of these systems, we didn't have order prints. Then we got order prints, things got just crazier good. And now it's like they're on steroids because we're understanding them even better than we ever did before. So it's order prints changes things. When the market changes, it changes. The signals change, and it's a good thing because when market's real fast, we don't get a lot of signals. We couldn't trade it anyway. It trades with the change in markets. Come on, it went one tick away from my profit.
Yeah, one thing to just kind of piggyback on what Lori just said, the thing with the order prints is that it's like real-time, live what's happening with the current contracts that are being bought and sold at that moment. And so there's nothing lagging behind it. It's actually kind of leading and telling you where price could potentially go based on the order of contracts that are being bought and sold. And when orders are being placed and they're being trapped, in other words, like they're left behind and they never got filled, I mean, that's a very important aspect of trading. So, I mean...
Oh, YM. My take profit on my trail is down at 125, one tick above the top of that cluster ZOI. Just at 27, I mean, sorry. I was looking at the 25. Okay, it hit both anyway, so there we go. Got it.
And of course I missed that one too.
Oh, I called it.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to deal.
It came so close to my stop. I was two ticks away from my stop. I was 2 ticks above that mini magnet. It came and tested that mini magnet. Oh, I was about having a heart attack, but and it went 1 tick away from my take profit. Did not engage it, but yeah, that was a good one.
No, actually, that one did fit my rules perfectly. I just was not focused. Like I told you, I got a phone call that I'm trying to deal with, and then I was trying to explain something, and yeah.
Really, really easy to do. Why did I like it so much? It did have a mini magnet. The 110211 bar on YM, it did have a mini magnet. It had a cluster in the X box. It had the absorption X. If you look left, it had a cluster at that level. It had a paw at that, almost that level. I love that one. It's ranging at that point. It's kind of pointing downward, but it's ranging kind of at a downward angle, so I want to go short. Looking at the chart, it looks like it's tending to go short more than long right here. We're kind of in a rangy area, but I want to go back short if I can, and that setup went up short. So does that help explain why I liked it so much? Although I was really having my doubts when it went and hit that mini magnet, gotta say.
That's interesting, Lori. Nobody in here so far has had a mini magnet. I had a mini magnet. So I'm just kind of curious if one of you guys could just refresh your 10 tick just for kicks, that YM chart, and see if that mini magnet shows up. I'm just curious if somebody would be willing to do that.
That one, so you don't have a mini magnet. What the heck? I don't get it.
Okay, Lori, so here's something that's really interesting.
It would be a mini magnet at 33,169 is where the mini magnet would be on YM.
Okay, Lori, so here's something very interesting. My new laptop, which has become my test machine, has my identical setup that I'm running on everything else. It does not have a mini magnet on that setup.
What my OP 1102.11, not 1103. 1102.11. Yeah, I have a 1 and a 9 on the mini magnet. So if for some reason you missed that one, when the ticks came in, if it missed that little tick, you wouldn't have had a mini magnet. So, okay, that could happen. I mean, it's electronic trading. Stuff happens. That's over the years we've learned that it happens sometimes. Just got to deal with it the best you can. And we're back up at that level again. I would love to see another trade setup going short, but it's got to be perfect. Get about it. I'm so happy the dogs are staying quiet while they're working. Oh, look at this. Oh, pretty YM. Right on. What's that orange level? Open? Is that what that is? I don't know what level we're at. Is that open? Oh, the cluster moved. Um, 211.07. I have no idea. Richard, maybe ask it again the way you had it. I have no idea. 1107. I'm sorry, I misread that.
Okay, Lori, so just FYI, I refreshed the computer that did have the mini magnet on it, just to see if it would go away, and it did not. So I went back to the one that didn't have it, and I'm reloading historical data, and I bet it shows up. So we'll see what happens.
YM is trying to set up again. The cluster's in limbo. It's on the flying trapeze right now. I don't like it. I don't want it just flying through the air. I want it attached to something. Historical servers are different than the live data. That's interesting. Didn't know that. Learn something new every day. The benefit of YMTES, it is just personal preference. YM moves faster, and personally generally I can read it better. I can read YM, RTY, and NQ. ES does not like me, so I stay away from it. Simple as that. Katie commands ES. I mean, she does good. I can't say commands, but she does really well, so she likes ES. It's just whatever you know the quirks for. I traded YM for a year, and my first year of trading, I traded just YM, and I loved it. I learned it. Then I looked at NQ because everybody else at that point was trading NQ, and I looked at NQ, and I'm like, yeah, yuck, that just moves too fast. Well, it started moving slower, and I realized everything I learned on YM applies to NQ, and the same with RTY. Their quirks tend to be the same, and so NQ moves fastest, RTY moves in the middle, and YM moves slower out of those three. And ES is in a class all by itself because it's got such a high volume that, yeah, we won't even go there. So Katie is guiding us through, those of you that like ES and trade it and know it, she's guiding us through ES. If you're not already trading ES, I would not try switching because it is different. And all the training, I'll get it right, good grief. All the training is on, most of it's on NQ because we were trading that at the time, but it all applies to YM and RTY exactly the same. So I would stick with those three if you're new and you haven't been trading ES for a long time. Do not try switching over to it now. But that is, if it's your market, by all means, have at it. Yeah, NQ is most of the time NQ is not scalpable. It's better for simplicity, longer. I'll even take some of the Lorex setups that just are completely in your face on NQ, and I just let them run, but I don't like it most of the time for scalps. Try loading your diagnostic chart for maybe 3 days. See if that helps you. What market are you trying to load? If you're trying to load NQ, don't. Sounds like your computer can't handle it. Load RTY or YM. Oh, well, ES is, yeah, it's got a lot of ticks. It has to load each and every tick individually. ES has huge volume, so that is probably, try 3 days. That might help you. It is fast and as far, but every bar has a gazillion ticks, so it takes a lot. I think if I had to load a chart while I was trading, I think I would just give up probably. Learning tidbits today. I love those days. If you have a lot, actually, you'd be surprised. I had to take a lot of the walls out that were really anything under 6,500. I had to take out. Well, anything under 6,496 actually, to be technical. I took those walls out because they actually do increase your load time when you have lines and levels in your chart. If you've got a bunch, they need a lot more load time. So I changed the walls so that there weren't so many, but yet I kept all of them that are current. So I still have the other ones in a file somewhere. Gotta find them in case we need them, but I shouldn't go back down that far. You never know, though. We've had some crashes where we've gone down a few thousand points, and the walls still, it stopped right at a wall. It was cool. Yeah, I used to put them in as rays too, and if you get it just one tick off, your ray's gonna go cross-eyed, and I did that too much. So I like to know where they started, but then I gave up on that. From your chart, from your screenshot, Stephen, from your screenshot, it looks like we're in a range. I can't tell for sure, but from the information there, it looks like we're in a range. So you don't have to be going with the DR. If you did, that would not be a valid FTX because you're against DR, but it looks like we're in a range. So that would be, it looks like a valid trade to me. Now, if that would be a good one, that would be, according to the read, that would be a Katie question. I couldn't tell you on EF. Oh, yeah, Seth, to remove all drawing objects would just be killer, not in a good way. I've got so many things that I put on my chart to watch for another time. Ugh, yeah, couldn't do it. I had to do it once, but that was after like 5 years of lines on my chart.
Okay, sorry, I just have been dealing with a bunch of chaos here, so.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
That never happens. You're a chaos wizard, aren't you?
No. Not in this aspect of it.
The way you said no, that was not good chaos at all.
No, because your chaos is with animals. Mine is with. Mine's, well, yeah, they're animals too. No, I'm just kidding. They're my guys, so.
Fine line there.
Exactly.
Give us a screenshot, Lori. What am I screenshotting? I actually need to get my, and I have to apologize for that because when I got the new computer, I have not moved my screencast stuff over yet. I had it crash so many times that I just moved NT, and that's all. So, yeah, I need to, that's why most of the time if I'm marking up charts, I do it on my phone because I can just take a quick screenshot and send it back to you. And it's sloppy as all heck.
Okay. So, FYI, I reloaded historical data, and that mini magnet showed up on the chart that it wasn't. So, for those of you who did not have the mini magnet, you have to refresh, but also reload historical data. I sound like I should be on a reality show, Brandon? Why is that? You right-click on the chart, and then towards the bottom it says reload historical data. Trampas. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I picked this, right? I chose this, so I have to be able to deal with it.
Do it the best we can. Sometimes that works out really, really well, and sometimes not so good.
Welcome, Carlos. How are you? I guess today it's like, welcome to the zoo.
some days more so than others. For the moment, knock on wood, my zoo's quiet. When NQ is fast, it doesn't matter what you're using, your order can be skipped. That can mean it can skip your entry, your stop, or your take profit. I have had several times where it got me in, skipped my take profit, turned around before I could do anything about it, and hit my stop. Thank goodness it didn't miss my stop. I've actually had it miss my stop too, but more often it misses my take profit and turns it into a loser because I can't move it fast enough. So it's not a good idea to scalp NQ when it's fast, no matter what. The TA makes it faster to get the order in, yes, but just because it gets the order in does not mean it won't get skipped once it's on your chart, your take profit or your stop. When it moves fast, it doesn't pick up every order along the way. It just doesn't. That's the way trading works. So, yeah, when it's fast, it's bad. It's a very bad idea to scalp NQ. But if it's reasonable, then yeah, the TA will really help you getting in faster and not miss things if something just does a little zip. So all good there.
Lloyd, did you answer Ashwin's question? I was distracted listening at something, so I was going to say, I mean, simplicity.
NQ is the simplicity, yes.
Yeah, that's where you do want to trade NQ is with simplicity.
Right, because you're getting in with market orders in simplicity. You're just getting in, and if you have a little slippage here or there, it doesn't matter. If you're using you're only going for 10 ticks on scalps, 9 ticks, whatever. You've got to use a limit order or market order. You're going to get too much slippage, especially when it's fast. I've had 10 ticks of slippage. Yeah, it doesn't make sense when it's moving fast. But simplicity, you're going for the big moves. Yeah, if you got some slippage, who cares? Just get in and get out at a market order.
Oops.
Copy paste.
Yeah, JP, that was part of it. But also the way that it got to that. Okay, so Lloyd, do we have time, or are we in the middle of something?
I'm just checking a couple charts here and
Okay, so
watching for setup.
if we look at it, we were basically consolidating from about 10:13. We had an early entry simplicity that I would have stayed out of, and then it was consolidating. So let's call it from 10:14 all the way to 10:38. It was consolidating, and then it continued the consolidation until about 10:45, and then it started breaking down into the bottom of the consolidation at 10:46. At 10:46.30, we spiked through, and I mentioned, see, we spiked through, but we didn't close below the level. And then it created another consolidation zone below our previous consolidation zone. I don't like that, because that means that it's still not certain about which way it's going to go. Then when it finally did break through, it gives me this ginormous bar relative to everything else that was happening in the consolidation, equivalent to the bar that spiked our initial break at 10:46.30. So make a really long story short, I just didn't like the way that this was setting up, even though an hour and a half prior to that I called if it was going to break the zone that we would look for an entry. But the market presented itself in such a way that even though we did break the zone, there was other things happening in real time that I didn't like. So I would have stayed out of it. And in turn, you see what happened, and we're right back into that zone again, basically just going up and down, even though we did have a couple of entries to go, one long and the other one go short. Again, there was like maybe 5 or 6 signals, and only one of them, which is this last one, would have been profitable. And I don't know at this point, it's still going, if it would be enough to cover for all the other ones that would have lost. So the moral of this story is, it looks like I'm not going to trade simplicity today. So it's just too many things that I just don't like. And it's okay for me to stay out. I'd rather come back tomorrow, although, it's highly unlikely we'll see something in the next half hour, but you never know. But I'd rather come back tomorrow where the playing field, so to speak, looks a lot cleaner than what it did today. Because it's pretty ugly. And it all basically started since the open. Because the open gave us a little bit of an isolation, and then it just dropped. And once it dropped, it tested the level that we were trying to break. It took an hour for it to break, and then it's right back into the same zone again. So
RTY, I'm watching here, just FYI. It's not setting up completely, but it was looking better off this mini magnet, but we got the Xbox back. No cluster. So I'm not a real big fan of this at this moment, but I'm watching it. I was hoping a mini magnet would come in, but it's not. No cluster, no mini magnet. Yeah, it's a no-go for me at this moment with what it's printing, but it could change, so I'm watching it on RTY.
Trempas, just F5 your screen. And that should go, well, unless your 30 tick is not up and running yet. Because that's usually...
Strict character criteria on an entry as compared to signaling printing at the bottom of the chart? No, they're the same.
Is your
reads the signals at the bottom of the chart.
Trempas, is your 30 tick up, or does it still say calculating? You're saying it was up. Is it still up?
Oh, wait a minute. The non-negative, you have to reload your charts for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you have to F5 the chart to do that.
No, usually you have to take Ninja down and totally redo your whole chart. I mean...
Oh, I just F5 mine. That usually goes away.
Mine doesn't. How can you get so lucky with that? When I get that non-negative, F5ing doesn't help. I have to take my whole Ninja down and reload everything.
Yeah, that's just Lorex not finding what it needs off the 30 from what I found. So...
something is corrupt in there. I think it depends on what's corrupt. That message probably comes up with a couple different things that are corrupt, and depends on what's corrupt, and I tend to get the corruption where F5 doesn't touch it.
Okay, Trumpus,
I have to reload Ninja.
Before you do what Lori says, F5 your 30, and then F5 your 10. But wait for the 30 to finish loading and calculating, then F5 the 10. And if that doesn't work, then take down Ninja and bring it back up. Clear your cache and do all that stuff.
The Xbox on both ends of the bar, just wait for it to close. Because it's not going to stay. You don't have ignore it. I mean, right now you got a pretty setup on YM, and RTY was trying to set up, so I like it when they both set up the same direction at the same time. And I would be in YM right now on this retrace. I like it. That's just me. Because RTY tried to set up, but it didn't. So it just got me in. And come on, there we go. I take profit. I moved my profit down a tick so it's just a tick below that wall, because that wall could stop you. So I couldn't say that soon enough, unfortunately. It'll come back up and go.
Laura, you still in that RTY?
No. No, I popped out at that wall. I couldn't say it fast enough. It kind of did zip up there sort of fast. So I had taken it went.
Did you say wall? What wall?
Yeah, I have a wall at 33,157 on YM.
Oh, I was talking about RTY.
I wasn't in RTY.
Oh, I thought you were in RTY.
Cluster YM is prettier. So I go with the prettier setup. And I got out at the wall. So
oh no, I see that. I see that.
Now look at this. Yick.
That's an institutional block. Vegas. And if you look at your current 30, you have a line that represents that at 33,144. Well, actually, no, that's on NQ. Never mind. Let me see if I can find what's on NQ on that. You said yesterday? What time yesterday? What's the timestamp on that bar? Is that 10 p.m. Eastern? Okay, so if you look at your 30, it looks like it's at 11,468 is the price range. You've got a line on the 30. It's on the that doesn't match it. I don't know. I don't know. It's funny because you do have a line on that 30 that goes back to 1637 for yesterday in the afternoon. But this one looks like it's at 464.75. Chris, Your question is, you cannot find anything on the signal on the diag 10 of the OP break. What do you mean?
You had mentioned you were looking for a break at one point, I think. So he's trying to get that.
Okay. So I was looking for a break of price level, not on the OP10. I was looking on the simplicity chart, if that's what you're talking about. So I basically had a level on the simplicity chart, and I was looking for a break above or below those levels. Is that what you're talking about? Okay, see ya, Lori. I don't know. It doesn't qualify for that. The 10 tick is just a fraction of a bar within. I mean, the 10 tick only gives us 21 ticks of movement from top to bottom, and that's a fraction in the middle of a simplicity bar, which is 30 seconds. Jeff, it's a great question. I honestly, I don't like any of it because, okay, here, let me post this so you guys have an idea of what I'm looking at. Just to kind of give you an idea. So okay, so I just posted my chart for you guys. So I'm gonna let you guys kind of do some thinking here. If you're looking at this, what is the one thing that stands out that would give you reason to pause? Just initially looking at the chart. What's the first thing that pops at you? Okay. Some of you are getting it. I'm going to post out another zoomed out view of the chart and see if that'll help you come to the answer better. My charts have a lot going on. Actually, they really don't, believe it or not. Okay, what do you think about this one? And pay attention to where price is today from the open. Okay, so for those of you guys who are talking about I zones, that's correct. So our entire day has been in this green I zone, and then there were different I zones building within that I zone. I never like that, ever. So that would give me an indication and a reason to stay out of simplicity for the day. So I just kind of gave you guys a clue to what I look at on the big picture of things, just on the same chart. The I zone is an apex indicator. It's the apex, it's the underscore Apex Institutional Zone Indicator. And just load that, and it's by default. When we do the roundtable, I'll go over the setup that I use, just like we did the OP chart video that I did, that you guys can see what my my layout for the different markets for the Lorex or Sniper, how I have the different charts, have the different layout of my charts for the markets. Yeah, exactly, George. At this point, I'm actually getting ready to pack it up, though, putting it away. So, JR, you got 2-0 today. My question to you is, did you follow your rules? Did you trade the way you're supposed to? Again, we need to focus on the process. The results will speak for themselves, right? KR, I'm going to do that in the podcast. I'll go through that. I unfortunately don't really have the time to do that right now, so and I'm not trying to avoid it. It's just that it'll be easier to do it when it's live and you guys can see it and I can move things around as opposed to trying to do a screen capture. Brandon, let me read your question. This primarily is for simplicity. So what I do is, and again, we'll cover all this in the podcast, but just like Daryl always says, you need to identify your target. So even though for Sniper, it still applies the same thing to simplicity. So I identify my target, and then I look for my entry point, and then it all has to make sense. And it has to coincide with what I see with the market, and does it go into the high probability in my favor? All those check boxes have to go off, in my head to make sure that I, take the trade. Yeah, Greg, I was just reading your comment, right? I mean, isn't that crazy? All those eye zones. No, Robert, I did not. Don't have any trades today. Missed one. But no, nothing today. Yeah, Dash, but if I was to look at the trade setups that showed up today, I didn't have any trade setups for me that I would have taken that would have lost. So I always go back if I miss something. I would call it saying I missed a trade, but it would have lost. I've done that before. Yeah, Joe, a couple of ticks in the positive is a lot better than one tick in the negative. So good job for that. I usually use it primarily if I'm getting close to a target and it starts to light up in the direction that I'm going for. It'll keep me in it longer. And if I'm about to get into a trade and it starts to light up, that tells me that there's a lot of volume coming in, which means a big bar is going to form. Maybe I'll stay out of it. Well, Joe, you're welcome. Hopefully you'll be able to get enough, knowledge and then build experience that you will be able to do this on your own, right? I mean, that's the plan, is to get you comfortable and solid with the foundation that, you can literally do this on your own. I mean, let's face it, guys, trading, it's a solo sport. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that's in control. You're the ones that, with the buttons. See, there you go. Nice job, Katie. That's 8 ticks, right? So, did you make 2 ticks or 2 points? 2 points, right? 2 points, 8 ticks. Yeah, see, there you go, guys. See, Katie just made $100, and that could be good enough for most people. Yep, Katie's on ES. That's correct. Francine, is that a Katie question or my question? And if it's for me, then the answer is it depends on the size of account that I'm trading in. Well, Jeff, believe it or not, it's actually very doable. Very, very doable. Yeah, Katie, the entry offset of 2 is, I think primarily was designed for NQ just because it moves so fast. I think that was the reason for that. and I actually have an entry offset of 4 for my NQ. Yeah, my offset is 4. Dash, so your comment is, with tick strike, you never get into a simplicity trade without mostly lighting up in your direction. Well, a lot of it also depends on the way you have your tick strike set up, right? So the way I have mine, I have it set up a specific way that when it lights up, volume is pretty heavy. So when it lights up, I definitely stay out. So again, a lot of it has to do with the way you have it set up, and you tailor it to work with your trading style. So if that's what works for you, then great. Francine, the entry offset has to do with the Apex chart trader. When the actually entry, comes in to trigger the trade. So if you basically have it triggered at like price X, so it's going to be X plus whatever amount of ticks, and that's going to be your actual entry price. So if your intention was to get in at A, you're actually going to get in at A plus whatever the offset is. So Katie has it at 1, I have it at 4. Yeah, Katie. I don't know. I do know that with ES, it's kind of funny because price has to actually spike through whatever it is you're trying to get into or stop out. So I don't know how that works, but I know it's a little bit different with fills on ES than it is with the other markets. Judy, no. You can use the chart trader on anything, but it's specifically designed. Well, let me rephrase that. The chart trader was designed to work with the diagnostic bar, and then the simplicity is designed, or the simplicity part of the chart trader was designed to work on bar close. So if you're using like a timed chart, which I don't really know why you would, but primarily it's the chart trader was designed to help get in and out of Apex trades, and then the trade copier you can use on anything. It doesn't really matter. Judy, does that answer your question? Good, excellent. It's funny, Judy. I was reading your name and I thought it said, "Hey Judge," and then dash Judy, and I was going to start laughing, but then it said, "Hey Judy." Got it. So it's kind of funny. No, the offset is only for the entry, dash. The exit of the trade is whatever your stop is or your target. What it does is it basically moves your entry above what your intended entry is to be. And the reason for that is because of the movement of the market. So since price moves really, really fast and the execution, happens in milliseconds, right? So you want to make sure that if it does move just that extra 1, 2, 3, whatever the offset is, during that millisecond time frame, you want to make sure you catch the trade. That's the reason for the offset. Jeff, what NQ perfect setup for what? I wouldn't call it necessarily perfect, but okay. No, David. I'm not gonna. Remember, I don't work for Apex. I don't. I get nothing for saying all this. I'm just telling you a tool that I know that use. I bought. Okay, just so you know, I bought the chart trader specifically for the order keys portion of it, because it comes with the order keys, which basically allows you to do the chart trader functionality using a keyboard, and that's the main purpose that I use chart trader for. Yeah, it's David. It's it's if that's what it is, $100. I don't remember what it is. It's well worth the money. Absolutely. Because the thing about it is that when you arm it, especially for sniper, what it does is it already, if you see a bar that's forming and then you arm it to basically buy it close or sell it close, then what it does is it puts the order in basically in ready mode, that once the bar closes in your direction, it's going to initiate the trade. So you'll never miss it in that aspect of it. The order keys does the exact same thing, but it places the order when you actually do the key combination, which is different than the chart trader, because the chart trader won't actually put the order in until the bar closes. And if you're trading live money, you're going to be higher in the queue if you put the order in sooner. So for execution purposes, you'll get filled before a chart trader entry would get filled, if that makes any sense. Now again, all this happens in like micro or nanoseconds, so we don't even notice it and see it, but when it gets to like multiple contracts and you're trading live money, it makes a big difference. Brandon, for the interbar scalps, the order keys is, it's pivotal. That's the only way to do it. And you get in with where you point your, there's a key combination wherever you have your cursor pointing, so it doesn't matter whether the bar needs to close up or down. And yeah, that stuff, it's a game changer for sure. So for interbar scalp trades, the order keys portion of it is phenomenal. And if you guys want, I can actually do a video on that. We can do that in one of the other podcasts. Well, David, then you're a much better trader than I am if you're trading in Picos. Yeah, RTY is setting up. But it's after 12, so I will not be taking it. David, I get it. It's all fun and games, right? It's when we start trading in flops, that's when we know we're really cooking, right? Yeah, Judy, they are. Here, I'll post the link again to the channel. Seth, it does count. It counts really good. So you're a slipper trader. That's good. Oh, great. Thanks, Judy. Appreciate that. Yeah, Dash. When you're on the main page and if you subscribe and go to notifications and get notified for all, when when we go live, you'll get a notification, and you'll see it on the main channel page. Um, 11:57:57. Sorry, Jeff. Looking at it, no, you're right. It's a great setup. I was just initial glance. I went back and I looked at the OP bar. If I would have seen it forming, yeah, I would have taken it. It would have lost, but I would have taken it. I'm just kind of going back through the chat right now, guys. Sorry. Reading some of the comments. Brandon, I'm not really quite sure the comment that you made. The training video doesn't show how to enter that way. What do you mean? Which training video? Dash to fix your dash. Get out of the exit out of Hotcom. Close your web browser. Clear cache. Go back in. Log into the Apex website. Go back into Hotcom, and your name should come up. Spencer, the question that you had about does my Lorex setup say anything about the wick on the prior bar? It really depends. I can't just give you a flat, yes or no. It really depends on what's happening with the market prior to that. No, Jeff. It was a great catch. No, for sure. I'm going back on the reading the chats. I'm a couple minutes behind. Sorry, because I have to scroll in and it pops, in front of me. So sorry. Yeah, Benjamin, that's really interesting. If your leader account did not fill, but your followers did. That's really interesting. Yeah, Adam, I think what now that I'm reading back, thanks for posting that, by the way. But I think what Brandon was talking about was how to use order keys for the inner bar scalp. But you can apply that same. I haven't seen that video in a while, so it's been a while. No, Jeff, you did not miss anything. No, it's a good read on that. No, actually, because that part came in after Daryl made the video. That was programmed in within the last couple of months. So that was a change to the order keys. So that's why you don't see it. Daryl didn't talk about it because it wasn't there. It's been revamped since that video was made. Amy, there is somewhere, I don't know where it is. We just did a podcast on how to set up an OP chart if you want. Let's see here. I'll post the link for you. Here you go. That's the video that we set up on that. Somebody just asked a question. I just missed where it was. Oh, Dash, you asked a question about NQ. What kind of on what strategy? Are you talking about simplicity or was it a Lorex? I don't think it's, but the question is it possible to use the Apex Eval PA on two platforms? I don't believe so. I don't know how Sierra works. I don't know how the connection to the data feed is. if Sierra allows you to connect to Rhythmic, then you should be able to. You should be able to set up Rhythmic connection in Sierra, and then you'll be able to, trade off of that. So, man, I guess you could. I guess you could. So if you're using Sierra to connect to Rhythmic, and that's your data feed, then you should be able to execute trades on Sierra and on Ninja. I would test it out in Sim first and see. Oh, but you wouldn't be able to. Well, okay, so here's what you do. Go into your Sierra chart, and then somewhere way off away from price, submit an order and see if it shows up on your RTrader for the pending orders, and then close it out and do the same thing for Ninja, and then you'll be able to see it. Okay, Dash, going back, so you said Sniper NQ1210, was it 1210 exactly, or what was the exact timestamp? Because I don't see anything at 1210. Like nothing 1210 on NQ. Yeah, 121047, if that's the one you're talking about, is not valid. That's correct, Jeff. Yeah, so if Sierra has plugins for RTrader, then yeah, for sure. I know Jigsaw does. 1110 Central, so that's 1210. Yeah, so no. There's nothing valid there, Dash. It's a good job, Stephen. The question I have is that, are you trading correctly? Are you following the rules? Again, you want to make sure that you're doing everything right, because if you're not and you're getting those results, you'll eventually start developing some really bad habits that will end up hurting you in the long run. So you want to make sure that you're trading, that your results are basically created because you're trading well, not because you're getting lucky. But if you are, then congratulations, and that's awesome. Keep up the good work. KR, it depends. I mean, it all depends on what, it's a tool, right? I mean, TickStrike is a tool. And if you want to get something specific out of it for your trading style, then you'll tweak it that way. and then all the rest of it is just going to be, you know, background noise, right? Except for, you know, you take it out when you need to use it. Because you had a box but no trapped orders. Actually, you did have a trapped order, sorry. I apologize, you did have a TX there. Richard, can you post a chart marking it up? Yeah, look at that. Corey is no longer a dash. Welcome, Corey. Oh, glad to have you. Really glad to have you. Now we can reference you as Corey. Okay, sorry guys, I had to take a call. Let me go back to see. Corey, I'm trying to understand your question. So the video that I will create, order entry, or how I know we're looking for the which video? Right. So, but there's a couple of them that we were talking about. So, are you talking about one that I was going to put together about how to use order keys? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. So, so what do you mean? Will it have a little about the order entry? So, it's basically going to just show you how to use order keys primarily for interbar scalps. And I'll talk to Lori and see if we can do that. I'll have to ask her, and you know, I need to get her permission on that first because we're trying not to put too much out there on interbar scalps because it's just not defined yet, and we don't want to confuse people. So I'll have to talk to her and see what she thinks about that. So if you look at the live section, um, they'll have like round tables and it explains pretty much what we're doing. And if you kind of go through the comments, I try to explain what's going on in the comments as well. Yep, no problem.